Hi everyone, happy Sunday. Um, I'm quite cheered, but I'm in this situation where I feel uh, more than a little oppressed. Um, it's not that worrying because I can afford things and all that. Sort of um, money from relatives has never come, and it looks like people are just totally indifferent. The person who's meant to be dealing with this on behalf of my mum uh, and ultimately me is just totally indifferent. So I'm ending up paying for everything, uh, and I've never actually inherited anything before anyway, so that kind of thing would be welcome rather than just playing a waiting game, which I don't find very nice myself. But that's not happened. But going back to um, the astrology thing, which I promised to go through um, on the basis of me saying to everyone, have a happy Sunday. Astrology and also crystals are mentioned in all the ancient biblical texts rather than newer ones um, across different cultures. Um, and it dates back thousands of years to the Babylonian period, as I said before. Um, so I left it with Capricorn. I said that Capricorn was a cardinal sign, an earth sign, and a masculine sign, because there's a connection with Mars, even though um, it's in dignity with its ruler, Saturn. It's exalted in Mars, just as Libra is exalted in Saturn, but ruled by Venus. It's linked with the 10th house of ambition and the mountain goat, um, ascending the mountain slopes and reaching the dizzy heights and being very determined, down to earth, um, and courageous and tenacious. It is not actually the 12th sign of the zodiac, that's Pisces, but we associate the 12th sign with our modern Gregorian calendar. The Roman calendar was a little different, ending in March and then beginning towards April. And Aquarius is next, and that's an adaptable. That's actually a fixed sign, not an adaptable sign, and because they can be quite stubborn, even though they're very advanced and humanitarian and intellectual, and quite airheaded like Libra. They're the penultimate sign of the zodiac, so they're quite highly ascended, it seems. They're the water carrier, hence the humanitarian connection, and they're an air sign, a fixed sign like Scorpio and Taurus, and their opposite sign is also fixed, being Leo. But they're not a dominating kind of sign, they're adaptable to people. So it's a bit of an anomaly saying that they're a fixed sign, but they can be remarkably fixed even though they're very open-minded. They're a futuristic sign and nonconformist, definitely. And they're also ruled by Saturn traditionally, but now it's said to come that ruled by the planet of Uranus. They're never, as I say, a conformist for conformity's sake, and a humane sign, and an eccentric sign, hence nonconformist. Galileo was an Aquarian. And after Aquarius, which is linked with the month of February, the final sign is Pisces, and it's associated with fish, and in Christianity Christ was the fisherman, a fisher of men, and hence that connection with the fish, Pisces or Pisces, and one fish floating upstream, one downstream, and they're now ruled by Neptune, but they were traditionally ruled by Jupiter, the father of the gods, so it gave them a sense of joviality and enthusiasm, which I note in Pisces, although they are shy, retiring, generally artistic, poetic kind of people who wish to escape the rat race, a bit like Libra in a way. And the Piscean woman is a little like the Libran woman. They tend to be more escapist, more shy than Libran, despite the people-pleasing quality to Libra. So, unfortunately, I've got Moon in Pisces and I'm Libra, so even though people say I'm nice, that doesn't really bode well, does it, for assertiveness? But my Libran side makes me less emotional than the Pisces, because Pisces is a water sign. I'm an air sign, so it gives me that rational side that likes to debate and discuss and doesn't get too carried away by emotion. But my moon side is my moon sign is in my case, the emotional part of my chart. It's in Pisces, which is one of the most emotional, sensitive, empathetic, almost psychic of signs. Being ruled by Jupiter traditionally made it a little less vacillating, but and a little less carried along by the tides of emotion and changing of the tide, and carried along in flux like that. As I say, Jupiter traditionally gave Pisces that jovial streak to counter the pessimism and the sensitivity and the over-emotionality. And Pisces is an adaptable sign, which makes sense, really. There's not really a contradiction as far as that's concerned with Pisces, and unlike some of the other star signs. And it's the 12th sign, so a sign perhaps nearest to the cosmos and the universe. Right up there, it's kind of the zodiacal equivalent of the crown chakra. But they can plummet the depths as well, because their emotions and sensitivities are heightened. And I've said that they're a water sign. Sometimes they can retire from life to become monks and nuns, but their vices can also mean that they'll do anything to escape the misery that surrounds us on planet Earth. I think the Pina Colada song was sung by someone on the tip of Pisces, um, just coming out of Aquarius, start of Pisces, um, and I think I can round it off there. Um, so, strangely, when I actually did a video saying I'd missed Capricorn, Aquarius and Pisces out, and I want to talk more on those, just to round it off, because I didn't get time on the rest of the video. It got, I don't know whether this was merely because I was wearing a marble black and white dress, it got a lot more views than the one where I was talking as if it was a seminar, which defeats the object, doesn't it? It's a crazy world, and social media nowadays actually conspires with this view that it's quite a random place, and you have to be careful what you retweet, because you could be retweeting the wrong stuff, but it shouldn't really be on Twitter in the first place. If you share information or tweet or retweet stuff, you expect it not to be there if there's something sinister behind it. So, as I said, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, you watch a video on YouTube because it had informative content, and then to actually view more of it, view more of a video which is just saying, "Oh, I omitted the 3 last signs," and that was all there was to it. It doesn't. It's not kind of fully rational, is it? And as I say, this is the case with social media sometimes. But I don't want to sound ungrateful, because I have had hell of a lot of views for being creative lately, and in the last 3 months too. As I say, I'm a bit of an old soul. I've always been interested in astrology since about 6 years old, and it developed from there. And I quickly became knowledgeable even at a young age. I don't think I feel the same old soul that I was back then. By the time I was 8, I felt heavily repressed just for being bright, and this kind of sense of repression and oppression has unfortunately sort of come back now in midlife, when I thought, oh, I've sort of evolved and ascended through that, like typical Piscean would even. And because I've studied hard in the past, and you think, oh, that, this won't happen, and you're not going to get repressed in a country like the UK, but everything seems to be going to pot, but what goes around comes around, so the cycles of history tell me that it will start to improve again. And I've finished off my section on astrology, so I'm going to look at a new age philosophy to share with you for next time, in between my little bouts of creativity. So, hope you enjoyed your weekend. Bye for now. Go. I've got things to do.